Welcome to Pink Caddy Garage.
Today we're going to take a look at a car that we're going to be doing some videos on. This is my wife's 2017 Mercedes GLS 450.
Because the warranty recently expired on it, we're going to do some maintenance videos coming up on the channel.
And also because we've owned this car for almost 2 years, we're going to do a quick mini review of some of the features and things that I like about this car and that I don't like.
All right, let's go.
So we got this car pre-owned. It had about 39,000 miles on it when we got it. And now it's got just a little bit over 50,000 miles. This car originally had an MSRP of about $78,000. I think when we bought it 2 years ago, we paid about $49,000 for it. And today, 2 years later, it's worth about $35,000. So typical Mercedes depreciation, but it does make a good used car value right now too. The good news is in the 2 years we've owned it, nothing's broken on this car. It's been to the dealership one time for what Mercedes calls their A service, which is, their $500 oil change. But it does have a B service coming up in just about a month. So we're going to be doing a video of that when the time comes. The GLS comes in 4 models. The 320, which is a diesel, the 550, which I wish we had, is the V8, and the GLS 63 is the AMG hot rod version. Wouldn't mind that one either.
The 450 has a twin-turbo V6 engine that puts out about 360 horsepower. Apparently, when we were getting ready to make this video, Dad neglected to wash this part of the car, so just don't pay attention to this.
Well, I got news for you. I've been neglecting to wash this ever since I bought it. It's also got a 9-speed automatic transmission, an Airmatic adjustable suspension, all-wheel drive, and about a 7,500 pound towing capacity.
As far as the exterior goes, it's really pretty, which is what drew my mom to this car. It comes with 19-inch wheels, and something super convenient is the keyless entry. All you do is you have your key fob, you just grab that handle and open it right up. And then you just close it, use this thumb right here, and it's locked.
Take a quick look at the interior and the seating. Interior is one of the high points. You've got nice contrasting stitching on your door panels and your dashboard. Got full leather interior, seating for 2 up front, 3 in the middle, and a couple of more in the back. Take a look at that. For 7 total.
And I'm the 7th.
How does that feel back there?
It's really not that bad. I'm 5'3", and I still feel pretty comfortable.
Good. Well, with the seats up, you still do have a little bit of room for some groceries or small packages and things like that. But let's fold everything down and see how much room we can get. So Ashley, you look pretty trapped back there.
But I'm not, because of this button right here. It does all the work for you.
And it moved this seat up as well. That's pretty slick.
So to lower these back seats, there are 2 buttons that you can either do them together or lower them independently, just like that. And now you've got a bunch of space for any of your belongings you want to put in the back. So we have one more seat to put down, which conveniently also has a button. But pretty cool. You don't have to do anything but just push the button. And that is the bougiest part of this car. So with all the seats put down, you've got about 90 cubic feet of room back here, which is quite a bit, so you can put a lot of things in here.
We've got a pretty big panoramic sunroof here. That's the shade. Hit it again. I was just thinking, I hope this never breaks. That didn't seem that good. I'm thinking we're going to have to lube this thing. Or maybe we should start the car. There we go. That thing hadn't been opened in about 1.5 years. Will it close? It works a lot better closing than opening. Subject of a future video. Being a Mercedes, it's got lots and lots of technology and safety features. You've also got a lot of things you can do to configure the car for your own personal tastes. I usually don't use these menus. Down here on the console, you've got a variety of settings you can use for your acceleration and your suspension and steering settings. So the car always defaults to comfort mode, and that's what my wife drives it in about 100% of the time. Sport mode, which lets you have much better throttle response and tighter steering, what I like. And you've got things for snow and slippery conditions and things like that. These buttons up here are going to raise the car up for going off-road, or if you're in a low clearance situation, you're going to get a little bit of a rising. It rises up a couple of inches. We drove it in a cow pasture the other day and it did make a little bit of a difference. Overall, I'd say this 450 has been a really good car. We've been happy with it. It hasn't broken. We've taken some road trips in it. It's been good for us. But let's talk about a couple of things that I don't particularly like about this car. The first one's probably going to be the remote start. So I'm going to compare this remote start to the remote start procedure on my mom's 2009 Cadillac. This is the way things work for most GM cars and a lot of modern cars. You just use your fob, you hit lock, and then you hit start. Simple, right? Not so easy on the Mercedes though. You don't remote start it with your fob, you've got to use your phone. So there's an app you can download called Mercedes-Benz. So we're going to launch that app. Put your fingerprint on. All right, now I've got options for lock and unlock or remote start. So I've got an iPad down here with a stopwatch ready to go, and I'm going to start a stopwatch at the same time. It says running security check. Please wait while we see if your GLS is ready to start. I don't know what it's doing. I think it's going to a satellite up in outer space and then bouncing down to Germany or something, just to see if it's ready to start. 30 seconds. One time it told me it wouldn't start because I didn't have enough gasoline in my tank. I think I had just under a quarter of a tank of gas. I don't think I can idle out that much gas. Yep, we're coming up on a minute here. Still running a security check. Now, I literally locked the car and rolled all the windows up just before we started this video. All this just to start the car. I wish I brought a snack. Hey, it started. Let's see. 1 minute and 34 seconds. I think the record has been a little bit over 2.5 minutes, and about 40% of the time it just says failed to start. I don't like that. As far as driving goes, the throttle response is not very responsive. For one thing, you've got quite a bit of turbo lag right off of idle, and if you're in comfort mode, which is what it defaults to every time you start the car, it's going to want to start off in second gear. That's why I use sport mode. One thing I wish it had was a touch screen. We've got this screen up here that's not a touch screen. What it has is two little controllers down here. One, kind of like a touch screen where you can move things around like that. Or you can use a rotary knob to move amongst your menus and use these buttons up here, kind of like a computer mouse. Why couldn't they just put a touch screen in? One other thing that might have been a little better thought out is these cup holders. So that's all the cup holders we've got back here, and if you've got 3 people in the back seat, you're all going to be holding your own cups. So at the base of the windshield here, below the wipers, we've got all this area that is super deep and collects all kinds of debris and leaves and dirt and stuff. I just cleaned this out about 2 weeks ago, and it's already starting to get some stuff in it again. So this is an area you've got to kind of stay on top of. It's not a terrible job. We'll do a video on taking that apart, but you got to stay on top of it. Regardless of whether anything breaks or not, like just about every European car, you've always got a service coming up. And it looks like this one needs one in about a month. That'll be the next Mercedes video that we do, how to do your own B service. Those few things aside, we really do like this car. We took it on a road trip from Dallas to Nashville and back, and on that trip our fuel economy was about almost 24 miles to the gallon. Around town it gets about 17 or 18, which is not bad for a vehicle of this size. Also, this 9-speed transmission seems to be really well programmed. Some other transmissions, when you get up to 8, 9, 10 speeds, they seem to hunt around and can't ever figure out what gear that they need to be in, and this one really does a nice job. Of course, the best thing about it is that it's been super reliable for us. I know there's a lot of systems on this car and things are going to break, but so far it's been solid as a rock.
I'd say that's a pretty successful review, wouldn't you?
Not really, but hopefully it helps somebody. Regardless, the next thing we're going to need to do is that B service, which is a little bit more than a glorified oil change.
But until then, I hope you subscribe, and I hope that the seat doesn't fold down on you.